the King of Iron Fist Tournament. Tekken. So, Tekken was released in 1994 for arcades and 1995 for the PlayStation 1. The game was an instant success, selling over 1 million copies worldwide and critics giving it a near perfect score. Tekken would be one of the first fighting games to revolutionise 3D fighting, along with Virtua Fighter as its main competition. And in 2008, Tekken entered the Guinness World Record Gamers Edition with multiple records, such as the first PlayStation game to sell 1 million copies and the first fighting game to use simulated 3D. The plot of Tekken has multiple plot threads, but the main underlying story is the Mishima family feud. When Kazuya Mishima was 5 years old, his father and winner of Best Hairstyle Ever, Heihachi, threw him off a cliff to test his strength. What an absolute bastard! Someone phoned child services on this twat. Anyway, just barely surviving the fall, Kazuya is visited by a demonic entity known as the Devil Gene, giving him immense power and strength. Years later, Heihachi sets up the King of Iron Fist Tournament with a prize money of $1 billion, attracting fighters from all over the world. So like I said, multiple plot threads. The reason why this game and every other Tekken game has multiple plot threads is the wide variety of characters that you can pick from. With a total of 17 characters, 9 of which are unlocked by beating arcade mode with a certain character, there's plenty of variety to be had, with every character having a different fighting style and different movesets, so there's plenty of learning to be had. And this is something modern fighters really could learn from. Being able to unlock characters or content from just playing the game or learning it is loads better than just paying a few quid to unlock a new character. There is no sense of accomplishment. Also, beating arcade mode with a character showed you an ending cutscene showing you what they did after the tournament with the prize money, which I think is nice and was something actually omitted from the original arcade release. Now, I am a massive, and I mean massive, Tekken fan. I have played all the mainline series and have very fond memories of playing this, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 with my dad and my brother when I was younger. That being said, if I was to rank all the Tekken games, this one would sadly be near the bottom or even bottom, purely because it is such a bitch to go back and play. But the respect I have for this game is immeasurable. Not only for starting off one of my favourite franchises of all time, but for the impact and what it did for fighting games back in the day. The 3D graphics, the button to limb setup, which in my opinion changed fighting games forever. The easy to pick up, hard to master gameplay. This game had it all, so it doesn't surprise me that critics rated it so highly. But like I said, it is a bitch to play now. It feels so sluggish and slow when you press buttons for combos. The AI is insane and tuned to perfection, even on easy. And it's lacking so much gameplay, as you only have single player or versus, which is extremely basic. Also, the graphics are god awful. compared to today's graphics, but in 1994/1995 I remember these graphics looked absolutely amazing. The character models looked brilliant and the backdrops looked beautiful, even with indications as to where you were fighting. But like I said, they look garbage nowadays, and the FMVs at the end look absolutely horrible. But Kazuya's ending FMV always makes me laugh, especially knowing what he does later on in the franchise. Just gonna go back to characters a little bit. Tekken nailed it straight away with some memorable characters that would still be in the franchise nearly 22 years later. There's the main ones in Kazuya and Heihachi, but then you have others like Paul, Law, King, Kuma and Yoshimitsu, who would all be in the later games. With the exceptions of Kazuya not being in Tekken 3, Forest Law instead of Martial Law in Tekken 3, King dying at the end of Tekken 2 and a new King replacing him, and Kuma dying at the end of Tekken 2 and a new Kuma taking over. But they still fight the same in the later games as they do here. Even when they died or were replaced by another family member, they still fight the same, with a few minor tweaks here and there. Overall, the original Tekken was an amazing game for its day, but has dated considerably now. Yes, it is a classic, but I am basing my score on whether you should go out and play this today. And the fact is, unless you love Tekken or you like retro gaming, I really can't see any point in going back to this one. So I'm actually going to mix two review scores together and say that Tekken is worth getting at bargain bin price but in mint condition. I might be a bit biased with how much I love Tekken, but I cannot score this game any lower. It does so much right, but it does a lot of things wrong as well. And to be honest, there is some enjoyment to be had in Tekken when you learn how it works, but just don't expect the fast-paced combat we are used to today. Well, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give us a like, share and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of Tekken 1 or even the Tekken franchise. Take care of yourselves.